don't fucking kick people and don't punch people. And I'm talking to you right there, all right? I'm talking to you and you. If you want to fucking do that shit, get the fuck up on the football field, all right? I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, that's right. Now, I don't have, it sucks to have to tell people to behave themselves, but there's other people here too, all right? So try to be a little more kind. Yeah.
You know, I saw you two guys earlier at the Good Humor truck, and you were eating your ice cream like little boys, and I thought, those guys aren't so tough. They're eating ice cream. What a bunch of swell guys. I saw you eating ice cream, pal. Oh, don't you deny it. You were eating an ice cream cone. You were eating an ice cream cone. Oh, you're bad now. You're bad now, but you're eating an ice cream cone. And I saw you. That's the shit you can't hide, you know? You got your fucking shit, but you eat ice cream. Everybody knows it. The whole fucking place knows it. Ice cream eating motherfucker. That's what you are.
It's not only just for the audience's sake that we try to like talk with them and confront them. It's for our sake. We don't want to feel like we're just playing to a bunch of, you know, like heads. You know, like okay, there's some heads and some bodies out there. You know, and let's play and go home. You know, we want because it's not worthwhile to me to be playing just to heads and bodies because heads and bodies represent just consumers. And I don't want to have nothing to do with that. If they're there to be, you know, if I want to go play to people, and those people are there with me, and not like, and that way, if we can get into a thing where we respect each other as human beings, and the chances are that, you know, we're going to be taking care of each other in a little better sense, and then we can take it out in the streets from there, you know. But if it's just a thing where they come and pay their money, and there we are up there, and we're out here, that was a good show, let's go home, don't make no difference, you know, that's bullshit.
For me, like punk music or whatever is always about, you know, undercutting people's expectations and throwing in like a spanner in the works or whatever. And for me, I mean, I want this band to be, I mean, if this is unsettling people, I'm ready to really unsettle people because I'm ready to, you know, I want the sound to always be moving and to be like, anything starts getting static, I start getting uncomfortable because I feel like what happened with hardcore or whatever is that things get so ritualized, they're no longer powerful, they lose their power, they're not dangerous anymore, they don't excite people and they don't move people anymore. They just become some kind of a traditional thing which people can just, you know, slip on the clothes and slip on an attitude. But for me, it's like, it's a life thing, man, and if it's gonna be a life thing for me, it has to always constantly be moving forward and like have some kind of a time thing, dimension to it.
You know, I read the paper the other day about some young men, some boys, who are beating up homosexual men in a park. I read the paper the other day about some young men, some boys, who are beating up gay men in a park. Let me tell you now, I don't give a fuck what you are, but you do not beat up people for being gay. You do not beat up people for being black. You do not beat up people for being women. You do not beat up people.
One of the things about the way the band works live is that we always improvise the sets. We never use a set list, so it's never scripted. So like at any moment, everyone in the band has to be ready to go into any one of the 70 or 80 songs that we've written over the years. It's really important that you almost enter kind of a group mind or something so that you're able to pick up on cues from each other, which could be like a body motion or a move on a guitar or just eye contact. And from that, you have to know where to go, what parts to extend, how to segue into the next song, what the next song is going to be. On nights where it doesn't work, it can really be a disaster. But on nights where it's really clicking, it's almost like we're reading each other's minds and it just flows. A lot of the way the band works now is kind of based on what we learned in the hardcore scene of the early 80s. That was a time when like kids were taking control of their own affairs in terms of forming their own bands, setting up touring networks across the country, starting their own record labels, putting out their own fanzines. It was basically kids creating a whole underground without the interest or blessing of the music industry. And it was motivated without any hope for profit. It was really just fueled by their own energy.
I have a lot of contempt for the record industry, and I don't particularly want to be a part of it any more than I have to. The fact that we started our own label is proof of that, you know. when you don't want to be a part of something, you do it yourself. So we did. To exist independent of the mainstream is a political feat, in my opinion.
What political messages do you want for your audience to hear?
I mean, it's true that we address like political subjects or whatever in our lyrics, but I think that for about 30 years you've had so-called protest music and not a lot has changed. So I think we recognize the fact that if a band's going to act politically, that it has to be more in line with what they actually do as a band as opposed to what they say they do. So in terms of our politics, I think if you look at the kind of like in the Washington area, we exclusively play benefit concerts, and if you look at the causes that we lend our support to in the Washington area, you can probably get an idea of the politics of the band. I mean, we've done a lot of concerts supporting the Washington Free Clinic, the Whitman Walker AIDS Clinic, like protests against Operation Desert Storm, which we brought a video of and stuff like that. So
I understand that you do have a clip for us today. We're gonna go watch the clip now.
I noticed the U.S. Park Police are filming us for our new MTV special, I guess.
A formula for independence according to the band Fugazi. First, own your own record label. Avoid greed. Charge only $8 for CDs and $5 at the door. Book your own shows and do not sell merchandise. That's right, no t-shirts. And do not make music videos. Result? Fugazi outsells and outdraws many major label bands, and they get respect. According to Fugazi, never mind what you're buying, it's what you're selling. This is Ian. Because it seems like people always focus on your ethical stance more than they do the music.
If you ask me, like, what is Fugazi about? I'd say Fugazi is about being a band. Nature of the music business is to make money, which is fine, because a lot of people, that's their art. Their art is making money, or hyping things, or that's what they do for a living, and they're really good at it. And it's almost even respectable in a way of how good they are at it. If they can suddenly create something and immediately make 1 million people buy it, that's pretty amazing, you know. But that's nothing to do with us. That's just a different thing altogether. Again, our concern is to be a band and to play. And then we realize if we played, that people want to come see us, so we try to engineer it so people can see us in a way that everyone's comfortable, and mostly, primarily, that we're comfortable with.
My sister said that she met somebody who she'd been hanging out with, and finally he discovered that I was her brother, and he's like, he thought that we all lived in it together in a group house without any heat, like we didn't eat. Is it true that they don't use heat? like that kind of thing.
Problem is, you don't say anything when people place your thing on you. They say who you are. But then, if you try to like steer it at all, then you start to feel like you're being, well, at least propaganda. It becomes like an issue of creating a false. It's premeditated. You're trying to steer people. Yeah, you're manipulating it. So, we're just a bunch of monks eating rice with no heat.
Not too far from the truth this week.
Here we are living
with no
yeah,
heat.
Man, it's possible.
So we did heat the rice. It's possible that we are everything we are.
Something happened around the early 1990s. The industry saw a market in agitated guitar music or punk rock or whatever you want to call it, and an enormous amount of money and attention kind of descended on the scene. It's a lot harder, I think, now for people to be able to avoid that kind of cultural carpeting or whatever. It's hard to see things without seeing them through the eyes of that industry, and that really affects people's response to it.